Red tide still a red hot topic in Venice. What the city plans to do to combat future toxic blooms.
And slow moving, a busy downtown Sarasota roadway just got busier after a pipe failure closes down lanes.
And a crime app geared at making the community safer causes privacy concerns for a Suncoast family. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Our top story this hour here on the Suncoast: red tide has loosened its grip on our beaches in recent weeks, although it hasn't gone away yet.
And that's why Venice city officials are looking at ways to reduce the effects of red tide now and in the future. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live from City Hall in Venice. And what happened there today, Rebecca?
Well, Scott, Jacqueline, Venice City Hall was filled with concerned residents today who want to make sure this year's red tide bloom doesn't happen again. This is what Venice Beach looked like today. Full of people, no dead fish, and very clear water.
I expected it to be at the very least very cloudy, and it's not. It's a lot clearer than I thought it would be.
But even though the toxic algae may be gone for now, the city of Venice is trying to figure out why this season's red tide was so bad and how to keep it from repeating.
What we can do with our own little plot of land and our own little piece of paradise.
The city invited residents to hear what 4 experts had to say about reducing the flow of pollution, specifically fertilizer, into the waterways, and why they think this year's bloom was so extensive.
It really comes down to implementing best management practices on your own home, on your own business, within your own community to hopefully reduce the off-site nutrient loads that go off of your property.
But they all had very different opinions. The marine science experts said banning fertilizers would just make red tide worse.
Simply put, the reason is that without proper fertilization, lawns would not develop the optimal root and blade biomass needed to filter and retain nutrients and organic matter that would otherwise run off into our waterways.
While another said the seasonal ban on fertilizer should be reversed.
Say that the blackout should occur in the winter, because even in South Florida, where we have what you'll call a year-round growing season, certainly those turf grasses grow less in the winter and more in the summer. The ability of landscapes and turf grass plants to absorb nutrients is phenomenal.
And the chemist said nothing we do will make a difference.
It's a tremendous ecosystem, and we're just a little drop in the bucket on this thing. So unfortunately, if we were to even ban all chemicals from here, we'd still have red tide essentially the same.
But after hours of discussion, they all could agree on one thing.
The common goal is that there is no cure for the red tide. All we can do is not feed it. And the less nutrients it gets, hopefully the less invasive it will be.
The Environmental Advisory Board is planning on having another public hearing to make the final decision on what best practices it is for the city. Live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News. Back to you guys.
Rebecca, thank you. Red tide was also discussed during a joint meeting between Sarasota County and Longboat Key. The two municipalities said they are continuing to monitor the ongoing issue. They also have a draft of a state of emergency ready to submit if another bloom was to occur. Both the county and Longboat Key say they are also supporting research and ready to use grant funds if needed for cleanup or other needs from the toxic algae. And the FWC's latest update this afternoon shows a sharp increase in red tide off of Anna Maria Island in Longboat Key, reversing recent declines in the presence of this afflicting algae.
Moat Marine Lab is one step closer now to building a new aquarium at Nathan Benderson Park. Sarasota County Commissioners unanimously approving an agreement to lease county-owned land to Moat Marine and eventually turning over ownership of it to the lab. Once all land use approvals are complete and Moat Marine has raised the money to build it, construction on that new aquarium will begin between the rowing facility and the mall at UTC. It looks incredible in those drawings.
Yeah,
can't wait to see it.
Me too. Well, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast. Bob?
Yeah, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? We had red tide, a lot of stories there we just saw, and red tide has come back a little bit and come back in terms of high concentrations. We've had low concentrations just about a week ago in some areas, and now it's high. And speaking of Moat Marine, there's a high concentration right there by Moat Marine on City Island. The water color, though, not too terribly bad, and it is patchy right now, the red tide that is starting to show up again. And you can see rather calm conditions out there right now. We had a pretty strong east wind today, which really caused the surf to be a little high at times earlier today. 84 degrees right now, but those winds are out of the north at 8. And the barometer 29.96 inches. That is falling slightly as high pressure is going to weaken and lose its grip on the Suncoast and allow a storm system to move through the Gulf of Mexico and eventually sweep a cold front our way. The forecast through this night, we're going to see cloudy skies up until 11 o'clock. Temperatures will drop down into the low to mid 70s. Our highs today were above average at 86 degrees. Lows tonight will also be above average. Our average low at 65. We'll see temperatures in the low 70s right near the coast. 72 in Sarasota, 73 in Bradenton, a little bit cooler but not much in Parrish at 69, in Wauchula and Arcadia, as well as in the Sebring into the upper 60s for lows. We'll have the details on our rain chances and let you know about the weekend. Cooler temperatures are on the way. We'll have that in just a few minutes. Scott, Jacqueline?
All right, thank you so much, Bob. Well, there are some big-time traffic headaches for the ride home during this Wednesday rush hour.
A section of US 301 in downtown Sarasota is shut down between Fruitville and Main Street because of a pipe failure. ABC 7's Rick Adams joins us now live with more on the closure of those southbound lanes. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline and Scott, good evening. It has been a slow go for drivers out here. Traffic has been backed up for the last couple of hours. A pipe had ruptured, forcing the shutdown of US 301 southbound between Fruitville and Main Street. FDOT says emergency work is being done to fix it, and it could take days. It's certainly frustrating for a lot of drivers out here.
Especially during normal business hours and rush hour traffic. It's bottlenecking everything, and everybody's getting home late, and it's ridiculous.
And FDOT tells us the road is expected to be shut down through the weekend, so make sure you make plans to take an alternate route. Reporting live from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office responding to criticism after deputies showed up at a resident's home who had submitted a tip through what is supposed to be an anonymous app. The Sarasota father and son saw this post on Facebook describing a kid walking down the street with a gun in his hand, possibly headed to school. They immediately reported it through the Fortify Florida app. 7 minutes later, deputies knocked on their door demanding identification. That incident brought concern to not only the parent who reported the incident, but also the school district over the claims of anonymity with this app. Sheriff's Office officials say safety is their first concern.
The tipster who submitted that tip that we received did elect to share his location through that application. That means that law enforcement had one advantage, and that was that we knew where this tipster was. So we went immediately to his home and we tried to glean more information so that we could attack this in real time.
The state launched its new app, Fortify Florida, earlier this month as part of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Act.
As of today, the Sarasota County School District has officially set its guidelines for transgender students. The new policy addresses 7 main areas: pronouns, the use of restrooms and locker rooms, extracurricular activities, athletics, dress code, and field trips, both day and overnight. Under the new guidelines, students are given the choice to participate as the gender with which they identify, including restroom use. Superintendent Todd Bowden says students who have consistently demonstrated gender identity are allowed to use the restroom of their choice.
First, I say have a very open and honest conversation with your kids. If your kids aren't comfortable, you need to let us know. We will accommodate your child. We want to make sure everyone is accommodated and it's not at the expense of anyone.
The new guidelines also include confidentiality for students who come out to teachers or staff. If they have not already, Bowden says those students are given the right to decide when they're comfortable telling their parents.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, celebrating the present by recognizing the past. A new arts and cultural center in Newtown gets the green light.
And a lesson that could help these students for a lifetime. The importance of building healthy relationships, coming up next.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hut hut! It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it. Christmas Tradition by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Enjoy fine wine and great foods, all while supporting a great cause. It's the 17th annual Suncoast Food and Wine Fest, happening Saturday, November 10th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Premier Sports Campus in Lakewood Ranch. Taste hundreds of wines from around the world and sample great food from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds go to local charities and Rotary projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
My grandpa was always telling me about it.
But the civil rights thing happened like a million years ago.
Still, he thought it was important that I know what it was like.
So we followed the civil rights trail to Alabama. We saw Dr. King's church,
the bridge in Selma, the church in Birmingham, and I finally knew what he was talking about.
Some things you just have to experience for yourself.
Start your civil rights journey at alabama.travel.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Stocks were actually down today, just so you know.
Yeah. Well, over the past few years, the Martin Luther King Way corridor has made several strides towards redevelopment.
Now the effort to revitalize the area is getting another push. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo is live in Sarasota with what's planned. Dwayne?
Well, Scott, Jacqueline, in the past few years, we've seen a new medical practice and even a few restaurants coming up on the MLK corridor. But now, just recently, city commissioners approved a new cultural arts center right here in the heart of Newtown. Many folks are saying this project is well overdue. It's similar to Jetson Grimes's gallery, depicting the history and culture of North Sarasota.
We'll be able to create a destination for people outside of Sarasota and outside of the Florida that come into the community.
That destination will be a new cultural arts center located in the heart of the Newtown community. The city of Sarasota will allocate $200,000 to get this project up and running.
University of Florida architect and construction students will help in the design. City Commissioner Willie Shaw points to the center jump-starting discussions on the topics of race and ethnicity.
Being a native of the community and knowing its story, it isn't always told in broader circles. It's an opportunity to bring this portion of the story to a much broader audience.
For Grimes, he says it will be a game changer for this community.
I think our community as Newtown is going through a transition. And if we are not a community that is competitive with the rest of Sarasota, our community just will disappear.
Now, at this point, the city and the Newtown Conservation Team have not picked out a site for this new center, but they do anticipate that it would take roughly 3 to 4 years to get everything complete. Reporting live in Sarasota, Dwayne Lindo, your Suncoast News.
Dwayne, thank you so much. Well, nice day.
Yeah.
You got to go fishing today.
Yeah.
Nice day in the water.
A lot of people talking about the red tide and still out there. We ran into one patch and our bait did have a little issue, but once we got out of it, it was okay. We did catch some fish, but it's still around. And we got a graphic to show you here what's happening as far as that goes. First off, though, here's a look at the Sarasota Bay Van Wezel webcam. We were actually boating right through there and didn't have any problems at that particular location, but the sun came out eventually this afternoon. We had a lot of clouds around this morning and kind of breezy conditions out there throughout the morning hours anyway, and then things calmed down. Here's the latest red tide midweek report, and it is showing now high concentrations being reported in Manatee County along Longboat Key all the way to New Pass and Big Pass. Also some high concentrations. This from the FWC site. And also we're getting back into some low concentrations near Venice and moderate concentrations down south into Minnesota Beach, Englewood as well. It's patchy right now. It's not nearly as bad as it once was, but the report that we're getting today is getting worse than we've seen over the past couple of weeks. It was getting better. There are the reports there as far as high, medium, and low concentrations right now being reported up and down the coast. As far as the remnants of Willa goes, you can see this was a major hurricane making landfall around 9 o'clock last night, and then look how quickly, because it's over land, the mountainous terrain there, at least a little bit of mountains, and now the moisture is all the way over into Texas and Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana right now. Looks like most of that moisture will stay to our north as it tracks to a low pressure system and moves to the east. Here's a look at that forecast. Tomorrow looking pretty good. A few showers along the east coast. We'll see a mixture of sun and clouds. Still a pretty good east wind too, so good news for beachgoers there, keeping the harmful impacts anyway offshore. And then this area of low pressure looks like it's going to move basically to the north and east of us. The first part of the front, at least the prefrontal trough, will get close to us. Looks like on Friday morning, that's a few showers there. And then another round possibly in the late evening and early Saturday morning will the actual front move through. Right now we're not anticipating any severe weather with that, but we could see an isolated thunderstorm, not out of the question. But the heavy rainfall continues over Texas and into Oklahoma now, spreading off toward Louisiana. Not much rain for us here, and we'll stay dry tonight. And tomorrow should not be a big factor. A slight chance for some late day showers tomorrow in the mix, but that rain chance not all that high at 30%. Better chance for once the sun sets tomorrow night. 84, 85 the high tomorrow with a mixture of sun and clouds. Winds I mentioned will be out of the east throughout most of the day, but notice what happens with those winds. They start to switch around to a westerly direction beginning Friday as that front approaches southwest, and then once the front moves through, it'll switch around and pick up too. So boaters beware. More than likely we'll see small craft advisories for coastal waters beginning Friday late and continuing on Saturday. There goes the low heading off to the northeast. The front itself comes through, and then another cold front moves through on Monday. So if things are going to cool down and back to below average, I think, through the early part of next week, all the way into Halloween, things are looking to be pretty good. Currently, we have 84 degrees and the relative humidity pretty nice out there at 53%. Winds are out of the north at 8. The high today was 86, well above the average, and the low too running high at 71 degrees. For boaters tomorrow, as I mentioned, winds will be out of the east, turning around to the north late in the day. Seas running 1 to 2 feet with a light chop out there. Here's the forecast: partly cloudy, chance for showers late Thursday, 86 your high, and 40% chance for rain on Friday, and we'll see mostly cloudy skies. Less of a chance for Saturday morning, but notice the cooler temperatures all the way through Halloween. Looks to be pretty good for the trick-or-treaters. We'll start off in the 50s in some places Wednesday morning. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Every 107 seconds, someone in America is sexually assaulted, and every 9 seconds, an act of domestic violence occurs. To help change these numbers, Safe Place Rape and Crisis Center teamed up with some Sarasota County School District classes to teach students about healthy relationships at a young age. Fourth graders at Fruitville Elementary School are learning how to set boundaries with each other and how to express themselves. The hope is by talking about healthy relationships when they're young, they can decrease the amount of sexual and domestic violence in our area.
They're open and absorbing what is being told to them. And I think it's very effective in the Health Relationships program that someone else other than their teacher, other than their parents, is saying, you really need to do this. And you need to think about how you talk to people, how you act towards others.
Spark educators spend 5 classes teaching students about healthy relationships, and they do so through things like videos and classwork to help them understand those complex topics.
When we come back, we're going to show you how some students in Sarasota are getting into the Halloween spirit, all while learning at the same time.
You could hear the gunfire just around this wall. Around the corner here are the children. What's your name? Almost every home here has sustained damages. We're glad you're okay.
Oh, thank you.
Back on the job.
Back in the job.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
When the call comes in, it's time to go to work. We respond first, but FBL is right there with us.
You really never know what you're going to pull up on. You don't know what type of call you're going to have. You don't know, once you get to that call, what you're going to encounter.
Whether it's a big storm, it could be a house fire, you must be ready at all times.
We're always happy to see FPL. It's pretty much a team effort. Everybody has a job to do.
We know we can count on them. They'll be there, and so will we.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease a new Subaru Impreza today for just $182 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you, with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991. Now, in one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TrueStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC 7 is seeking a news editor with a nonlinear editing background and experience with breaking news and live shots. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Students at St. Martha's School in Sarasota got a lesson in Halloween fun that they won't soon forget. The second grade class took part in a stream project. Those kids would go from setup stations where they would weigh and measure pumpkins, and they also got to count the seeds inside and even put the big gourds into water to see if they would float. That event got a thumbs up from those students.
I would recommend other kids do this because it's very educational and fun. Pulling out the seeds. I like that mostly. Pulling out the seeds is going to get messy, and messy isn't my thing.
Well, following that lesson, the seeds removed from the pumpkins were baked, and students got a chance to eat them. I'm actually going to be pumpkin carving myself this weekend. Looking forward to it. Always fun.
It is. The seeds are good, too.
Oh, yeah, they are.
World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up next.
We'll see you again at 7 and 11. Have a good night.
For the best car buying experience, go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota, where you always get better prices and a bigger selection. Like KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $22,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota today.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gatto's got it.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Imagine doing Disney on a budget. A $150 budget. Before you laugh out loud, this guy did it with his family of 4.
I think that was the point where we said, okay, this is real. How can we benefit from this?
Trips to Scotland, Bermuda, and Yosemite, all for free.
And I get to live this life that I choose.
How did he travel more and spend less? We reveal his secret on the next Watching Your Wallet. This Thursday at 6 on ABC 7.